Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, JackieNicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? JackieNicole is Bougie AF. So listen, make sure to go check out the YouTube, which is Bougie AF. I wanted to talk about the story behind me, which is about the nurse who was in New York City screaming out help. We're trying to take a motorcycle or a bike from a young black man. And just really trying to get the attention that she wanted to have her way. And she was willing to imply that there was something happening to her. And I'm going to show you the clip. But clips like this is extremely important. With all the conversation about CRT and the lack of like real American or Black American history being included in our classrooms, there's so much that gets lost, right? The story of Emmit Till and how that happened. And several stories, which I'm going to put a map of all the race riots that have happened in this country, that children, millions of children are going to school and not learning about it, right? So what ends up happening is this erasure, right? What we see behind me is something that has happened historically to Black Americans, right? And that's why it's extremely important that we tell these stories and that we don't confuse it with CRT, which is critical race theory. That's not what we're asking for. We've always been asking for history, right? The real history of what has happened to Black Americans to be told to our children in these schools. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this clip and I'm gonna come back with some closing words.
Help me! Please help me!
Not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Hey, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Hey, now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the bike.
off me,
I'm
dude.
not.
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
Stupid as fuck. You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
My dude, stop. No, my dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help me!
My bike.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
you.
Sad.
Bike.
Black men got killed because of shit like this.
Hassan, you put it out. Hassan,
I don't give a fuck.
Hassan, you put it out.
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
Alright, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his.
She literally knows the power she has with doing with behaving like this.
Record it. Fuck.
That's
All right,
my
so
bike
I
crying.
wanted to
It's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
her. That's it.
I will.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to see that because literally Black Americans know what this is. We've coined a term, Karen, which has nothing to do with her being white, but all less to do with her behavior and how she's weaponizing the fact that she is white and she knows what she can get away with, right? Like I said, historically, we've dealt with this. We know what this is. And thank God for cameras to capture what we've always been going through. ADOS strong. And I wanted to talk a little bit more. This is the part 2 about Karen behavior, which is the nurse that we seen the clip in the first part 1. And I wanted to expand it a little bit more and show you different examples of how that shows up in real life, right? And how that showed up in real life was for Emmit Till in 1955 when his life was taken by a vigilante and mob behavior, right? Where white people thought they could just do whatever they wanted, sort of just like what we just seen on the train with Mr. Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Penny, and the black gentleman that was killed, right? Where people just feel as if though they can just do whatever to black people and there should be no consequences for that, right? That's exactly what happened with Emmit Till and the woman who accused him, Carolyn Bryant Donahue, who just recently passed. As a Black American, I don't feel like there's been justice for that, right? She wasn't held accountable for her actions. We're always told that was so long ago and that we couldn't hold her responsible. But look at the disrespect it feels as a Black American as we sit and have watched for over since 1945 that every Nazi that they found that participated in World War II, they dragged from their dying beds to hold them accountable. And I felt the same way when it came to Carolyn Bryant, that she should have been held that type of responsible. But there's other ways this shows up. Like in real life, for me, it shows up as being on jobs with white women who feel as if though they can just say whatever they want to you, and the minute that you say something back, oh my God, I'm so scared, right? That type of shit, right? That really passive aggressive shit. In other ways, it has showed up. Just think about what Kim Kardashian did to Ray J, right? In terms of several years later, still trying to perpetuate this stereotype of in terms of trying to demonize him to make him look like as if though he tried to benefit or he's trying to get back at her with some revenge porn, something she participated in, something that she her and her mother directed, right? But she understands the villainization that happens to black men in America. She understood that she has came up off of that, right? That people looked at Ray J for a very long time as if though he was a bad man, right? So when I say some white women are quite aware of how black men are deemed and will try to use that against them. And that's exactly what we see with this nurse or what this woman did, right? Like the Kim Kardashian effect, right? Let me cry and get what I want out of this situation. It's disgusting. Yeah. So listen, I wanted to finish this video off talking about, nurse or whatever, Nurse Karen, let's just call her Nurse Karen, and the incident that happened behind me, only because I am talking about the history and black Americans experiencing this time after time. And there's a whole race riot massacre that implies of like what mob mentality and what injustices that have happened to black Americans. With that being said, what has happened in the past couple of years with black Americans, because of police brutality, something that has always happened in our communities, is that black Americans have asked for us to tell an accurate history of like what we've gone through, right? Rodney King and, the 90s race riots that happening in Los Angeles. Like, right? Why are we not being taught about those things in schools, right? That is a part of our history. And so, when black Americans started asking those questions, it got flipped by the other side, Republicans, conservatives, as if though we were asking about CRT. And I want us to be clear that we're not sitting on Clubhouse or we're not in conversations referring to us wanting more black history as CRT, because that's not what it is. Majority of black Americans or black people that I hear talk about CRT, majority of people don't know what that is, right? So let's go ahead and read that. It says, critical race theory is an intellectual movement and framework of legal analysis according to which, one, race is a culturally invented category used to oppress people of color, and two, the law and legal institutions in the United States are inherently racist insofar as they function to create and maintain social, political, and economic inequalities between white and non-white people. With that being said, we know what that looks like in terms of over-sentencing. If you remember a couple of years ago, there was a hashtag on Twitter where white people talked about times they got in trouble, and it didn't keep them from having a future and getting jobs and going to college and stuff like that. A lot of black people don't have that same type of outcome if they get in trouble early in their life. It kind of stigmatizes them, places them in a box for the rest of their life. Another good instance of like what CRT is about, because we're talking about it's a legal analysis. That's extremely important. And it's basically trying to understand, for instance, why does a possession of less expensive drugs carry a higher jail sentence? Meaning like crack, right? Than more expensive drugs, meaning like coke, right? Something more or less that white people are able to do more coke than they do crack, right? Crack is cheap. And why, if you get caught with coke, you get less time than you getting caught with crack, right? Which affects black Americans. That's the best way I can put it, right? It's exploring that and how the judicial system is working against us. And it seems as though because we're black Americans, know better, do better, and speak like you know what you're talking about. So y'all know how I do over here, where I tell y'all to stay posh SF, y'all stay black SF, y'all stay bougie SF, and more importantly, y'all be blessed SF. Nothing but kisses. And y'all be black, y'all. And don't you forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am out. Bye.